Hello everyone, welcome to Learning Spot YouTube channel. Today we are going to start a new topic in electrical engineering known as control system. So what do you mean by control system? As the name itself indicates, the output quantity is controlled by some quantity. So what is that quantity? We are going to discuss that. So the definition of control system says that it is a system when the output quantity is controlled by varying the input quantity, then the system is known as control system. So the output is dependent on the input. So if the output is dependent on the input, then it is known as control system. So there are two types of control system, that is open loop control system and closed loop control system. So in open loop control system, the output is not dependent on the input value. See here, in the diagram we can see that this is the open loop system and this is the output signal and this is the input signal. The output signal is not dependent on the input signal. So this is known as open loop control system. So now coming on to closed loop control system. In closed loop control system, the output has an effect upon the input quantity through feedback. As you can see here, the output, this is the output signal. So this has the effect on the input signal through a factor known as feedback. So this is the main difference between open loop control system and closed loop. Now we are going to discuss about feedback. There are two types of feedback methods. One is positive feedback and another one is negative feedback. So first we are going to discuss about positive feedback. So the block diagram for positive feedback network is shown here. See, this is the input signal, this is the output signal, and this is the open loop system, and this is the feedback. The feedback which is going to the input from output is positive. This is known as positive feedback. So there is expression for positive feedback. Through this block diagram, we can write an expression for positive feedback. So the output is C of S. Output signal C of S is equal to the sum of the input signal plus the sum of the output signal. Feedback signal. Input signal plus feedback signal. So what is the feedback signal here? The feedback signal is H into C of S plus the input signal R of S into the open loop system gain G. So we can write it as C of S is equal to H G into C of S plus R of S into G. So what we can do here is bring this to this side. C of S equals C of S minus H into G C of S equal to R of S into G. So by taking C of S common here, 1 minus H into G is equal to R of S into G. So we know that output by input, this is the transfer function. C of S by R of S is equal to G into 1 minus G into H. This is the transfer function of positive feedback network. So now we are going to discuss about negative feedback. Negative feedback is nothing but the feedback which is going to the input is negative. So we are going to derive the transfer function expression for negative feedback. So the output signal C of S is equal to the difference of the input signal R of S minus the feedback signal C of S into H multiplied by the open loop system G. So when we are going to simplify this, C of S equal to G into R of S minus GH into C of S, bringing C of S to the left hand side. C of S plus GH into C of S is equal to G into R of S. So taking C of S common, we get 1 plus GH. So here we get into G into R of S. So we know that the transfer function is nothing but the output by input signal. So output by input C of S by R of S. So sending this to this side, we get G by 1 plus GH. So this is the transfer function of the negative feedback network.